Okay, so here are my eyebrows without anything on them. I have all my makeup on, but I didn't put anything on my eyebrows yet. So you can see they're not filled in. And I guess, I mean, now that they're growing in, they look fine, but when I finish them out, they look so much better. They frame my face better. I can elongate them. So there's different things you can use for your brows. There's powders, there's gels, there's pencils. I kind of use both. I like a powder and I like a pencil. Right now, I'm using the Zoe Van Jones powder. We used to sell that at the shop. And I use her brush too. We used to sell that at the shop. I think we have a little bit left there. I like it. I also like the Anastasia brow powder too. I use the Anastasia brow pencil. I use the one in medium brown. Sometimes I use soft brown, just depending. I can kind of interchange, but they have lots of different colors that you can choose from. I get this at Sephora, and they also have it at Ulta. And I use the Anastasia clear brow gel because I have thicker, bushier brows. I like them to stay in place, so I do a little clear coat of brow gel over them. I'll show you how I do that. If your brows are thinning out and you're losing the volume of hair, or you overplucked back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, if you're losing that brow or it's not growing back, you could use a brow growth serum. We use the Revita Lash. It's actually Revita Brow at the salon. It actually helps regrow hair on your brow. Another alternative that you can do that I'm not sure locally where it's available, but I have a friend in Atlanta, Sheena. Shout out to Sheena. But she actually just started doing microblading. And microblading is kind of like what she could answer more questions if you guys have questions on here, you know. I can tag her in this video and she can talk about microblading because it's kind of like tattooing on your eyebrow, but it looks so real. It looks like little hairs have been put in there, and you can get it full, you can get it darkened, and you can extend them. I mean, it looks amazing. Like I hope there's someone in this area that does that. Otherwise, we're gonna have to have Sheena come here and do it for everyone. But that's a great alternative too if you're losing brow and you just absolutely cannot grow the hair back. So that's microblading. So you can Google that and check it out and see if you can find someone locally. When you're doing your brows, the rule of thumb is to take your pencil against your nose and against your brow. That's where your brow should start. If you're over here, you've plucked over too far. So you want to try to grow that back and bring that in. If you can't grow it back, if it just doesn't grow there, you can always fill in with a pencil. Pencils are really good if you don't have a lot of hair there. It's good to draw on the skin with. Powders are good if you already have hair and just to kind of fill in and deepen the color. So the pencil trick is right here. You want to make sure you don't overpluck. You want to keep it starting point right here. Then you go tip of your nose to the pupil up to this point right here. That's where your arch should start. Okay, so you want to let all of this kind of grow into that arch. Then you go from the tip of your nose to the corner of your eye, and that's where your eyebrow should end. So you can see mine doesn't go that far. So I have to go and fill that in so my eyebrows will be long enough to fit my structure of my face. So same thing goes for over here. Tip of the nose, corner of the eye. See how much farther I have to go that my eyebrow doesn't grow out. Tip of the nose, over the pupil. Makes this hard to do when I can't see. Okay, in there, so that's where the arch should start. And then along the nose, right up straight. And see that one is probably just a little, needs to come over a little bit, so I kind of draw that one in, okay? So that's an easy rule of thumb to practice. And when you're waxing, same thing. Try not to over wax. I rather just wax down here what needs to come off and then pluck and be very careful about what I want to pluck. I also like to pluck when my brows are drawn in. I like to see where my brows are and then go back in and fine tune it with tweezers and pluck that way. So that way I don't over pluck or pluck some hair that's important to my structure, okay? So this is what it looks like when one is done and then the other one's not. See how much more polished that looks and fits my face better. So I take the brow powder and And I take the darker of the color and I kind of mix in the lighter. Mine looks yucky. And take my brush, a brow brush, and you can take the other side and just kind of brush your brows up to where it needs to be. So then I go in with that same rule of thumb. I'm gonna create kind of just a soft line right there, pushing up. Hope you guys can see that. Pushing up with the way the hair grows. And I just kind of fill in that little area just to kind of darken it up a little bit. I feel like my brows aren't as dark as they used to be, but I don't want to look scary either, and I don't want to look angry and like have too much painted on brows. Then it can look really hard on the face. So hopefully my brows don't look hard. Okay, and so I do a little bit of that powder in there just to fill in, since they're not as full as they used to be. Sorry, I'm trying to do this where you can see, but I can also see and do a good brow. Okay, and then I get my pencil, and you can do this whole thing with a pencil. I don't know, I just use the powder. I've done it before with just the pencil, so you just twist that up. This is a nice pencil because it has the little brush at the end too. And so again, I use the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil, and this one is medium brown. When I asked at Sephora or Ulta for the Anastasia brow pencil, they're like, oh, the Anastasia. So whatever, Anastasia, however you want to pronounce it. So it's a good brow pencil. Okay, so then I'm gonna go in along my nose area, and then I'm gonna push up, creating that squared off feel, and kind of come over light little feather light strokes with a light hand. You don't want to have a heavy hand, then you get that really strong angry brow. And then so this is where I tend to need a little more hair, so I'm actually going to draw right there onto the skin. There's really not a lot of hair there, but I'm creating that line up to my arch where it's going to start arching. Kind of flick those over. If I see any areas that look lighter or bald, I kind of just fill in with the light little feather-like strokes. Then I come down from that arch and just light little strokes coming down. This is my skin now, creating some length there on the side, because remember, I have to come out from my eyeball right there. Okay? And just lightly little feather-like, hair-like strokes, okay, to create that look of hair. And that is it. That looks crooked. So now that I look crooked down here, which I have one brow, you will have one brow that does really well and one brow that doesn't. And they're not even, they're always one's like higher than the other. So Q-tips are great for this. So I came down a little too low with that one, so I'm gonna just kind of hit that with the Q-tip and just get that so it doesn't look so much lower than the other side. Okay, and then I can kind of hit that too on this side just to soften it so it doesn't look so hard. Okay, and if you still feel like, okay, I need to touch up, you can always go to the other side and add a little. After I get that done, just go in and brush it so it's nice and, see, I kind of brush my hair up like that. I like it to look like it's an actual brow. I need to add a little bit right there, I think. And hair, like I actually have hair there. Down a little bit right there. Okay. And then if I feel like it's too full right there, I can even take my Q-tip and just wipe right there. And then I take the clear brow gel, since I'm a woolly booger, and just brush that up. So that way they stay all day and they're not like crazy. Love that. Okay, so that's how I do my brows. I hope that helped, and I hope all the information on brow growth serum helped. Don't over pluck, let them grow in. Just pluck little hairs. Like right now would be a great time to go in and fine tune if I need to take anything out. You know, I might pluck right through here just to even that out to match up with that hair there. You know, you can pluck in here. Now that you know where your brow lays, it's an easier path to follow. Gives you direction where to follow and where to pluck. If you guys have any questions, if you have any questions on the products that I have, come into the salon. The girls are great. Ashley is our brow expert, and she does amazing work on brows, so she can help you grow those brows back and fill them in. And remember, don't go in with a heavy hand. Like, I have dark hair, they match my face. If you're a blonde, you're not gonna wanna use this color. You're gonna wanna use something that matches to your hair color. You have a little bit darker, but it has to be similar to your complexion and your color. And if you go in to Sephora or Ulta, they're gonna help you pick the right brow color for you. That's very important. You don't wanna have really dark brows and be blonde, or have dark brown brows or black brows and you're a redhead. So you want to pick an auburn pencil for that. So be sure to color match your hair to your brows, okay? And that's it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please keep posting questions and please keep adding your friends. This has been great. I mean, we started out at 200 and something, I think, when I started this group, and it's like 660 something. So it's just growing and I love it. And I thank you guys so much for adding your friends. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a good week. Thanks.